SC21 TV. I'm your host, Charla Bokikio, and this week we will show you the latest developments in high-performance computing, networking, storage, and analysis. SC21 TV will be live throughout the conference this week with in-depth interviews with industry leaders and influencers. The conference opens tonight with a gala event, and it is my pleasure this evening to be joined by Mary Hall and Todd Gamblin, the Tech Program Chair and Vice Chair, to talk about the planning and development of SC21. Mary and Todd, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
Great. Good. So, welcome to the SC21 conference. You guys happy to be here?
Yep.
Yes.
It's good to finally be here.
We've been working on this for over 2 years.
I'm sure, for sure. So tell me, what are among the most exciting aspects of the tech program this year?
The thing that's really interesting, I've been coming to this conference for almost since the beginning. And what's really exciting is to watch the change in the field. Right now, we're seeing a lot of convergence of the way people build software. It used to be HPC software was very specialized and really only accessible to experts. And we're now seeing much more convergence with the way software is built all over the field, and with cloud computing and with scientific computing mixed with artificial intelligence and data science, and just the way people are building software.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think there's a whole lot of cross-pollination between the HPC community and industry now that I don't think was really there when I started maybe 10 years ago. And I mean, you see that we have tutorials on cloud technologies, we have tutorials on using AI frameworks developed for HPC and AI frameworks developed for the cloud on HPC. And even the software ecosystem is exploding. So there's a whole lot of HPC community developed products that we're trying to get out there and have used by the external world, and they're actually being promoted within events in the tech program. And I think previously it was a much more exclusive community.
Gotcha. So tell me about the team this year, the tech program team.
I'd like to tell you about the team.
Yeah, please.
We had over 600 volunteers that formed the committee that picked the program. And so there are different program elements, and each one has a lead and a vice chair. Mm-hmm. And in picking the committee, well, when you pick the people on the leadership team, you need to pick good people like Todd to really carry the load. There are lots of decisions that have to be made, small and large, and having people who can lead those decisions, and people who know other people that they can build their own team with.
Right, all that networking, right?
Absolutely, and we're very conscious of picking people at different stages of their career and coming from different kinds of organizations, from academia and industry labs and DOE labs, and picking people who come from different countries and come from different stages in their career.
Yeah, I imagine there's some mentorship that happens with the
absolutely, and then over time you get bigger, and the people who demonstrate success and get bigger and bigger roles in the conference.
Right, for sure. So what's new at SC21?
We have two things we did that are completely different at SC21. So I'll tell you about one of them.
Okay.
We have a committee called the CARES Committee. That's what this button is for. Todd has one too. This is a committee that it stands for Committee to Aid in Reporting Discrimination and Harassment. It's designed to help people have a positive experience at the conference, and this is something ACM organizations have been building throughout the different areas. And so SIG HPC for the first time has a CARES committee at SC, and for the folks out there, You can contact CARES by going to cares@sighpc.org or looking for somebody who has a button at the conference.
That's fantastic. Good news. Anything else that's new, Todd?
So the second big thing at this year is the Reproducibility Committee. I think it's really expanded in scope. And our reproducibility chairs, Carlos Malzahn and Eva Jimenez, they built subcommittees under them to implement 2 new reproducibility badges for papers, where we're not just looking at an artifact description anymore and saying, here's what's in this paper. We're evaluating the artifact and verifying that it's reproducible as part of the committee. And so we're really saying something about the software contribution on the papers. And then the sort of culmination of all of that is we have a new Reproducibility Award for Best Reproducibility Achievement, which is interesting because other conferences have similar things, but we really tailored this to HPC. There's a lot of really unique aspects of reproducibility to HPC, in that it's very difficult because we have unique machines. There's a lot of numerical precision issues that maybe don't come up in other fields. And we wanted to highlight really advancing the field of reproducibility as a discipline, and not just whether something was reproducible. So we're going to see on Thursday who won that award.
Excellent. We're excited for that. So I know you guys have a number of amazing speakers this week.
Yes.
Are there any celebrities that you want to tell us about?
So we have 12 invited speakers, and they range from a bunch of different topics. So one of the things that's interesting this year is it's the 30th anniversary of the HPC Act of 1991. And so that formed an organization called NIDRD. And that organization really, has been instrumental in the funding for this area and for building the SC conference. And so we have Larry Smarr, who is going to talk about the history. So we start with some historical perspective, and then we have some speakers that are going to talk about HPC across the world. Satoshi Matsuoka is going to talk about Fugaku, and Koen Deboschery is going to talk about the High Peak program in Europe.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then just on the subject areas, we have a lot of talks about the convergence of HPC, AI, and data science. So that's there's 3 talks on that, and then we have 2 talks on post-war sort of forward evolution of HPC.
Okay.
So new technologies that beyond what we can develop software for now. And actually, on the software point again, there's 2 talks about the software ecosystem. So there's a talk about the LLVM ecosystem by Chris Latner, and a talk about the Exascale project software ecosystem by Lois McInnes. So it's again like industry and other areas of HPC coming together.
Excellent.
And then the last 2 talks, one about COVID therapeutics by Martha Head, and a roundtable on bringing diversity to the HPC field led by Valerie Taylor.
I've been seeing a lot of diversity topics this week already.
It's a priority.
So, every SC is unique, and this is the first one that has a virtual element along with the live attendance. So what makes that a challenge for you personally, as far as with the tech program?
One thing we've learned in trying to provide virtual content is you can do in-person well, you can do virtual pretty well, but doing hybrid is super hard. Like, you can't make it good for either, can't quite make it, optimize it for either side.
So then why is it important for people to come in person? What did they get?
So I think there's 2 aspects of those parts of running a hybrid conference that are really important. Conferences, I'm sort of sick of virtual conferences at this point, because I don't get the networking and the in-person interaction with people and the hallway discussions that sort of lead to new ideas. But by the same token, the virtual element really broadens the set of people who can participate in the conference. And I think, doing more virtual stuff just in general is good for broadening the HPC community and letting people know what we do. Before we had this virtual component, people couldn't see SC talks online, and now they can. And I think that's a huge way to give more people access to the community.
Right. So while it gives access, there's still an element of participating in person that can't be replicated.
I think that's true. They try to. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a Discord server this year, which allows people to interact sort of in a dynamic way. The hub system is helping. I think we can try our best.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for in person, but we don't live in that world anymore. And I think doing both is really important.
For sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else that you guys wanted to add that we didn't get to, or did we hit all your topics?
I think
Anything
we
else
should
important?
just thank the huge team that we have this year, like the
Absolutely.
600 volunteers, because one of the things about doing hybrid is that it hasn't been done before and it's really hard. And I think they've been really receptive to all of the changes in the agenda and all of the things that we've had to do to react to changing circumstances in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think I would just give a huge shout out to them.
I would also like to thank all the people who contributed to the program because they too had to jump through a lot of extra hoops, providing video content in some cases, and there were a lot of extra stages to providing content to the conference. And so thank you all presenters for giving us such a great program.
That's great. So are you two, on a personal level, looking forward to anything specific this week, or are you going to be pretty much just enmeshed in your technical program duties?
I'm looking forward to chairing some of the invited talks, and I'm looking forward to the reproducibility BOF. I think that'll be really good, and just to see where this new reproducibility initiative impacts the conference.
Excellent.
And the award ceremony, I think.
Oh, great.
Those things
Yeah.
are really good.
Mary, anything particular that you're looking forward to?
I have things that I'm contributing to the program. I'm part of the Diversity Roundtable, so I'm very
Excellent.
excited about that. And gosh, it is so nice to be at a conference again and to see friends, and so I'm really looking forward to that energy,
Yeah.
that SC energy, and experiencing that.
Yeah, there's something to being in the same room with people.
Yes.
Totally agree. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I'll wrap things up. We want you to stay tuned for the latest in supercomputing from SC21 TV. Make sure to like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more SC21 TV throughout the week. I'm Charla Bokikio. All right, nice job, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just
We're done.
sit here for a minute until they tell us we're out.
Okay.